from Wild and Growing. We are in Kauai and we're hiking Sleeping Giant, which we did last year, but we never filmed, and we're doing it on a new trail. So what's the trail called, Richard?
So this is the Kuamo'o trail. It goes up to the top of a mountain called Sleeping Giant, or Nounou. And it's called that because the profile of the mountain, if you're looking at it from the eastern side, from the ocean, it looks a lot like a human lying down looking up at the sky. And it's a really beautiful mountaintop. I've hiked it a whole bunch approaching from the eastern side up the Nounou trail, which is a shorter version. This one's slightly longer. It's going to be our first time doing it. We're really excited.
Yeah, let's go.
Almost immediately, you feel as if you are in the heart of the rainforest. We were ducking under trees and branches and stepping over slick rocks and roots. Beautiful ferns lined the trail, and we were consistently amazed at how dense the forest was. Despite houses and farms not too far away, we could not hear or see any signs of humans. In fact, we did not see another hiker at all since approaching the first viewpoint.
So we're about a third of the way through the trail, and we were just talking about how this way is a lot more jungle-y, if that's a word, than the other trail that we went up. The other trail has a lot of switchbacks, so you see more views, but this way you're more deep in the jungle and you see more of this unique ecosystem that's unique to Hawaii. What are you thinking, Richard?
Yeah, the forests that we've gone through have been really beautiful. It's easier going than the Nounou East trail, which is a lot more switchbacks straight up the face of the mountain. But I've really been enjoying this. Both great trails, and yeah, I'm excited to see what the rest of this one has to offer.
Yeah.
As we continue past the first picnic area, the forests continue to get more and more beautiful, as well as much muddier. The mud was thick and sticky, sucking in our shoes with each step. The perfect habitat for pesky mosquitoes who took advantage of us walking through their patch of the jungle. We saw signs of wild pigs rooting off trail, as well as using the hiking trail as a path. As always, we saw many wild chickens and even discovered a hidden clutch of eggs. This trail up the Sleeping Giant was less steep and longer than the other, more popular trail. Thankfully, the less direct route provided us with more private adventure up the mountain.
Right, so we are catching our breaths because that last section, I think it was 3/4 of a mile.
Yeah, about that.
Yeah, was just so much mud, so deep. It was like taking our shoes off. It was really hard to walk through. And while most trails in Hawaii are muddy, that one was especially hard to walk through, and it definitely slowed us down.
Lots of mosquitoes, and it was very humid too.
Yeah.
But just now, as we were coming up, there was a pretty drastic, pretty sudden change in the path. Started going upwards a bit. Now it's much drier, and we're also in a forest of Cook Island pines that you see all around us. So these right here are tropical evergreen trees. They were brought here in the late 1700s by Europeans. And one of the reasons why they were brought here is you can see these really long, straight trunks that they've got. They were used for masts for ships that the Europeans were traveling around back then. Cook Island pines are named after James Cook, who was the first European to arrive in Hawaii. Landed on this island actually in 1778 on the west side in the mouth of the Waimea River.
As we got higher, the trail did get steeper, and at times the mud made for some tricky climbing. We began seeing more signs of degradation of the trail. Thousands of footsteps compressing the mud and brittle lava rock over time.
gone about 2.5 miles from where we started. We are at this picnic area. There's a bench right up there. There are some picnic tables, really nice views behind us. If you want to end your hike here, this is a really nice spot to do that. The views do get better as you keep going, but it gets a lot more technical and a lot more scary. Check it out, but this is a perfectly good destination if you're not feeling it.
Choosing to go past the official end of the trail leads you to an even grander adventure. It's easy to forget the sheer cliffs on either side of you, as thick patches of grass and vegetation shields your view. As you stumble up parts of the trail, rocks become loose and crumble beneath your hands, reminding you just how dangerous exploring this part of the mountain can be. It's all worth it though, once you make it to the theoretical chin of the giant. A tall tower shooting up out of the ridge of the mountain, you see spectacular 360-degree views. This was truly one of our favorite adventures on the island. We hope you enjoyed it. If you haven't done it already, be sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more adventures. We post videos on Thursdays. Until next week, go on your own epic adventure.